Hey everyone, welcome back to Widget Wisdom. And today we are diving into one of the most essential tools for building responsive UIs in Flutter, MediaQuery. Whether you are designing for a smartphone, tablet, or even a desktop, MediaQuery help you make your app look great on any screen size. In this video, we will explore how MediaQuery works, why it's important, and how you can use it to create layouts that adapt to different screen sizes and orientations. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to build Flutter apps that look great on any device. Before we start coding, let's first understand what MediaQuery is. In Flutter, MediaQuery is a widget that provides information about the size and orientation of the screen, as well as other properties like text, scale factor, padding, and more. Essentially, MediaQuery is your go-to tool for responsive design. It helps you access important details about the device's screen so that you can adjust your app's layout accordingly. So let's start by creating a brand new Flutter project. Open your IDE, create a new Flutter project and name it something like responsive layout. Once you have set up your project, open the main.dart file and from here remove all these comments and then remove this my homepage class. And let's start by exploring the basic uses of MediaQuery. So for that, create a new stateless widget as MediaQuery example. Now come inside the build method, then here create a variable as height. Then for this height variable, here add MediaQuery dot of context, then dot size dot height. So this is going to give us the height of the screen. Then after this create another variable as width. Then for this width variable, here add MediaQuery dot of context dot size dot width. So this is going to give us the width of the screen. Then after this from here return the scaffold widget. Then for the body property, here add the center widget. Then for the child property, here add the text widget. Then here print the height and width of the screen. So in this example, we are using MediaQuery dot of context dot size to get the width and height of the screen. This information is then displayed in the center of the screen using a text widget. Now save this file and run the application. So here you can see we have the height and width of the screen. So here I have run this application on the web. Now if I resize this window, then you can see the height and width of the screen is changing accordingly. So this is how you can use the MediaQuery widget to get the height and width of the screen in Flutter. Now that we know how to get the screen dimensions, let's use this information to create a responsive layout. We will design a simple app with the column that displays differently depending on the screen width. Let's modify our MediaQuery example widget to add responsiveness. So for that, come to the MediaQuery example class. Then here create a new method as build small screen layout. Then this method will return a widget. Then for this widget, here add the center widget. Then for the child property, here add the column widget. Then sets its main axis alignment to the center. Then for the children property, here add the icon widget and add the phone icon to it and sets the size to 50. Then add the sized box of height 20. Then add a text widget. Then for text property, here add this is a small screen. Then add the style for this text widget. So we will use this method to build the layout for small screen. Then after this create another method named build large screen layout. Then this method will return a widget. Then for this widget, here add the center widget. Then for the child property, here add the row widget. Then sets its main axis alignment to center. Now for the children property, here add the icon widget. Then add the desktop icon to it and sets the size to 50. Then add the sized box widget and set its width property as 20. Then add a text widget. Then for the text property, here add this is a large screen. Then add the style for this text widget. So we will use this method to build the layout for the large screen. Then after this come to the body property of the scaffold widget and from here remove the center widget and here add a check that if screen width is less than 600, then return the build small screen layout method, else return the build large screen layout method. So this is going to check the screen width and based on that it will return the layout. Then save this and run the application. So here you can see we have the layout for the small screen, and when I resize this window, then you can see we have the layout for the large screen. So this is how you can create responsive layouts using the Media Query widget in Flutter. Now that you have learned how to use Media Query to create responsive layouts, now let's see another common use case for Media Query, that is handling screen orientation. Let's see how we can adjust our layout when the device is in landscape mode. So for detect orientation, come to the build method and here create a new variable as orientation. Then here add media query dot of context dot orientation. So this is going to give us the orientation of the screen. Then create a new method as build portrait layout. Then this method will return a widget. Then for this widget, here add the center widget. Then for the child, add the column widget and sets the main axis alignment to center. Then for its children, add the icon widget, then add the portrait icon to it and add a sized box of height 50. Then add a text widget which will say portrait mode. Now copy this method's code and then come below this method and here create a new method as build landscape layout. Then paste the copied code here. Then change the icon to landscape and the text to landscape mode. So this is going to be the layout for the landscape mode. Then come to the body property of the scaffold widget. Then from here remove this check and here add a new check that if orientation is portrait, then return the build portrait layout method, else return the build landscape layout method. So this is going to check the orientation of the screen and based on that it will return the layout. Then save this and run the application. Now this time I'm running this application in the simulator so that we can change the orientation. So here you can see we have the layout for the portrait mode, and when I change the orientation to landscape, then you can see we have the layout for the landscape mode. So this is how you can handle the screen orientation using the Media Query widget in Flutter. Now let's move to some advanced Media Query properties. So Media Query offers more than just screen size and orientation. Let's explore some advanced properties that can further enhance your responsive design. Here are a few additional properties you might find useful. Padding. For this add media query dot of context dot padding that gives you a padding around the screen including the status bar and navigation bar. Next one we have text scale factor. For this add media query dot of context dot text scale factor that tells you how much the text should be scaled based on the user's device setting. Then we have device pixel ratio. Using media query dot of context dot device pixel ratio that gives you the ratio between physical pixel and logical pixels on the device. Now let's modify our example to use these properties. If you created these three properties, then come to the body of the scaffold, then from here remove everything, then add the padding widget, then for the padding property, here add the padding of 16 from all the sides. Then for the child property, here add the column widget, then sets the cross-axis alignment to start. Then for the children property, here add the text widget. Then for the text property, here add the padding property. Then for the style property, here add the font size as 16 multiplied by text scale factor. Now copy this text widget, then paste it here 2 more times. Then change the text to text scale factor and device pixel ratio and add their corresponding value. So this is going to show the padding, text scale factor and device pixel ratio. Then save this and run the application. So here you can see we have the padding, text scale factor and device pixel ratio. So this is how you can use the advanced properties of Media Query widget in Flutter. So that's it for this video. If you have any question, feel free to ask them in comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Widget Wisdom. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.